Guides here, everybody. I had some trouble setting up Spine and TK2D in Unity 3D, so I decided to put together this quick tutorial to help out some of the other noobs like me. After you're done animating your character in Spine, open up the File menu in the upper left-hand side. Scroll down and choose the Export option, and you should land on the Export JSON option by default. Choose the folder where you want to save the file, and then make sure that the format is JSON and Pretty Print is on. Pretty Print just makes the file easier to read in an editor. When you're all set, just click the Export button and it should be done in a few seconds. So let's pop on over to Unity 3D, and I'm on version 4.1.5 here. I have a new project and nothing is loaded yet, so firstly let's import the 2D toolkit. Once that's imported, I'm going to create a few folders. Let's name the first one Main Character. Then, let's make a subfolder and call it Atlas. Then make another one called Skeleton, and the last one's going to be called Textures. You don't have to have this folder structure, but it helps keep things clean. Now that we have these folders, let's import our cut up sprite pieces that we used for Spine and put them into the Textures folder that we created. Once we have those in place, let's import our skeleton JSON file that we had exported from Spine earlier. We can't import it as is because Unity 3D doesn't read JSON files, so we'll need to right-click and rename the file, changing the extension at the end to .txt, which will turn it into a text file. Now we can import it into Unity 3D, putting it in the skeleton folder. Next, in Unity, let's right-click the Atlas folder, click Create, then scroll down and click TK2D, and then click the Sprite Collection option. With the new sprite collection selected, we'll need to rename it before we can edit it, so let's rename it to Main Character as well, and then click the Open Editor button. Let's move the editor window over here a bit and then click and drag all the textures we brought in earlier into the drop area. We're not going to mess with any of the settings, so just hit commit and close out of the editor when you're ready. So now that our Atlas and sprite collection is all set up, we'll now need to import the Spine runtimes for Unity so that we can get our animated sprite into the game. Head on over to the Esoteric Software website, and from the home page, click the Runtimes link. Scroll down a bit, and on the left side under Official Runtimes, let's click the Unity C# link. This will take us to the GitHub repository, and we actually want to take a slight step back into the main repository, so click the Spine Runtimes link near the top. Scroll down a bit on this page, and on the right side, you can download the repository with the Download Zip button. Once it's downloaded, open up the zip file and then open up the Spine Runtimes master folder. Now when I tried to import these files into Unity directly, I got an error. So we're going to have to import the required folders manually into our game. Open up another Explorer window and then open up your game project folder. From there, go into the Assets folder, and again, just to keep things clean, let's create a new folder and call it Spine. From the zip file, click and drag over the Spine C# folder into the Spine folder on the left. And then likewise, click and drag the Spine 2K2D folder into the Spine folder. When we open up Unity again, the scripts we manually imported will quickly compile, and now we have some new options we can play with. First off, let's right-click the skeleton folder and click Create, 2K2D, and then click the new option called Spine Skeleton Data. This will create a new asset file, which we can leave at the default name or name it to something else. With the new asset file selected, click and drag your main character sprite collection into the sprites field. And then click and drag your skeleton.json file into the skeleton JSON field. If all went well, you should now have a drop-down for animation state data. Just keep clicking the Add Mix button until you have an amount equal to the number of animations you made in Spine. We're on the final steps here, so now, in the Hierarchy window, click the Create drop-down button, go down to TK2D, and now we have two new options. Since we have an animated sprite, let's choose the Spine Animated Skeleton option, which will create a new TK2D Spine Animated Skeleton. With it selected, click and drag the asset file we created, the one in the skeleton folder, into the skeleton data asset field under the TK2D Spine Skeleton script attached to our animated skeleton object. I know, that's a mouthful. Lo and behold, if everything was done correctly, our sprite now appears in the game view. Now, just one more thing to get the animation to run. With the animated skeleton selected, go over to the Spine animation script and type in the animation you want to play. I have a walking animation here, so I'm going to check on the loop option so that it keeps playing. If I hit play now, my animated sprite is now playing in my game. That's all there is to it. As a bonus, if you open up the spine folder, then spine TK2D, and then the example folder, there's an example scene that shows you how to blend an animation into another one and how to change the animation that is currently playing. Hope this guide helped you out. Keep on derping.